WNIR.
Boy, am I confused about some of the young people. I'd like everybody to take the latest taste test here on the Howie Chizek Show to see if teenagers understand life.
What's the question?
Well, remember when I had this great idea to teach somebody a lesson, the value of money, etc., and the value of work, by entering into a contract with a young teenager, and I would buy the baseball glove, the $100 plus baseball glove. Sure, every yuppie's got to have a good glove, right? And then in exchange, they would pay me back in work. Well, they owed me 20 hours of work, and how much work do you think they still owe me now that we're about 11 weeks into the project?
I would guess 20.
That would have been correct, except they did finish a particular task over the weekend, which got them credit for 2 hours' work. But there was something disturbing about it.
What was that? First of all, what was the task?
Well, the task was I gave him two big buckets of change and coin wrappers, and said, this is a good task. I mean, you can do it even while you're on the phone talking to your girlfriend or something, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, as long as you have a hands-free phone or something.
And so like this.
That's right. Sort of slump to the side, hold the phone with your neck. So here in exchange, they owed me 20 hours of work. This was a great project because it shows the value and worth of money versus work. So I gave him the big bucket of change, and I gave him the coin wrappers. Now, how many pennies do you suppose a person's supposed to put in a 50-cent wrapper? It said America Trust 50 cents pennies on it. How many do you think would go in there?
Oh, I would guess 50.
Well, that's a pretty educated guess. How come he didn't know that?
What do you mean he did? It says so right on the side of the wrapper.
I know, but you're obviously not a student in today's current schools. I would have thought now, the idea, of course, is when you roll. Now, he did roll some of the quarters correctly. See, the idea, it says $10 quarters. So the idea is for there to be $10 worth of quarters inside.
Right.
He had 3 rolls, but one only had 9. Now, you'll say probably because he ran out.
Did he run out?
No, there was excess change in the bucket. Maybe he just got tired one night and thought 9 was enough. Now,
Close enough.
I haven't had the courage to tell him that the bank really prefers that all the wrappers of the same denominations have the same amount, because that's easy to tell because the wrappers have to be same size. So anyway, there were 20 50-cent rolls, which would supposedly equal $10.
Right.
However, of the 20 rolls of pennies, 16 of the rolls did not have 50 cents in them. There was 45. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, you see, if you hold them up on end, they're all supposed to be about this high, and somewhere this high minus 4 or 5 cents. And I said to myself, this is not possible of a person going into 8th or 9th grade. I mean, this is America. So rather than thinking that this particular child, who's very bright, by the way, but you have to understand good grades do not necessarily mean common sense in America.
So this student gets good grades.
B 3.3 average, okay?
That's good.
Yeah, but you don't know how much they have curved it since the days we got out of school, right? 1 and 1 are 3, 2 and 2 are 11, 4 and 4 make 18, 18 and 18 are 35. Remember that song?
Yes, I do.
It's from The King and I told somebody the other day. So I'd like somebody else. It's like, I would like you to do the chimpanzee trick, ladies and gentlemen. Take your change for about 2 weeks and throw it in a coffee can or a bucket. Then go to your savings and loan and bank and get some penny rolls. And then ask some child whom you have doubt about and say, would you please wrap these pennies for me? And don't say anything more, and see if today's children could figure out that when it says so-and-so savings and loan 50 cents pennies, you're supposed to actually put 50 in there. And if your children get this all wrong, then that'll make me feel more comfortable about my neighbor's child, because then I'll realize they all don't know. What is your observation, Janet D? That was self-explanatory.
Well, I would have thought that it said, 50
cents,
pennies, 50
right.
pennies.
Okay, well, he only got 4 right out of 20. Now, that's not a very good average.
But maybe it was hot.
Well, I would have preferred that he only done 10.
Well, see, he was trying to
got
be
10.
extra helpful.
Well, he was. All right.
He wants his baseball glove paid off, boy.
Well, that's all right. Actually, he's John Sununu's son.
He's-
No, I just made that up. Boy, oh boy, you would think, sometimes you wonder about politicians. Are you going to make fun of the Republicans? You're not allowed to do that. Sure I am. You would think when a guy does something consistently either wrong or stupid that he would stop. How come this John Sununu dude, and the story doesn't go, I mean, he isn't doing anything really bad. I mean, big deal. He uses the government planes, he uses the government limousines, big deal, they all do it. But how come after being told that it's stupid, he doesn't stop? I mean, this is why we have politicians. Now, of course, he's an appointed politician, formerly a governor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how come the dude doesn't realize, hey, you should stop. See, you're stupid. See, it works like that. Just a passing aside. Oh, gee, ABC's Nightline was completely wrong on the Pan Am 103 flight.
No, they weren't. This has all been made up by Reagan.
No, it hasn't.
Oh, it's the CIA. They made it up.
Well, maybe they did. Let's see if we can find the story. Here it is. ABC, according to the CIA.
Oh.
The CIA made this up because they're on the hot trail.
That's right.
Wrong. ABC's Nightline has been totally wrong for years on the Pan Am 103 Lockerbie, Scotland explosion. ABC and Pierre Salinger did these wonderful shows on the Syrian, Palestinian, and the nice man by the name of Jabril connection. And that maybe we knew that they knew that they knew that we knew that they knew. Wrong. You got it all wrong. And see, that's the way it is. Now, if ABC got it all wrong on this one, then maybe they're getting the Gary Sick book a bit miffed.
Oh, you can't say that on the radio.
You shouldn't make a parallel like that.
Well, if they were wrong once, they could be wrong again.
Well, they could be.
I mean,
but
let's be honest, on all major topics and all major projections, this program has an incredible record of accuracy. Compared to other talk stations and other talk shows, this program's probably the most accurate pulse of the people in mid-America. It's haunting sometimes. Anyhow, ABC got it wrong. And this supposedly brilliant young CIA analyst, or do you think the CIA made this up to throw a curveball into ABC? I'm just moving on. This young, brilliant CIA analyst put it all together and came up, he found the triggering device was a Libyan triggering device, and that this explosion supposedly was revenge for the 86 bombing. Now you could say, aha, the CIA is lying, they just made this up.
Well, you could say that.
But you can't, because ABC was wrong, totally wrong. And Mr. Pierre Salinger will be very upset to hear that all of his conjecture was wrong.
Wrong.
And now you'll have to sue the Libyans. Oh, we want to sue America, because America's the people to sue.
No.
So ABC was wrong. And so that's the name of that tune. Maybe they're wrong about the Gary Sick book. Oh, can't be. Oh, don't ever. Okay. Let's see. We don't have a real big news day today. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yes, you do. As we have been telling you all spring, we seem to be committing more murders than ever before. Akron, under Mayor Don Plasqualik, is it an election year? Beats me. We are setting an all-time new record for murder here.
Oh, of course. We're way ahead of schedule.
Way ahead of schedule. Youngstown, way ahead of
schedule.
Columbus,
way ahead of schedule.
And the country is...
Way ahead of schedule.
That's funny. We're way ahead of schedule. And USA Today denotes that Columbus is way ahead of schedule.
Number one?
No, but they're right up there. Some cities have already passed last year's murder rate, including Charlotte, North Carolina, Dallas, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Washington. They kill people just for laughs, and Ohio.
Oh, my.
So I don't know what to say, but it hasn't been that. It's been a lovely summer, but they're killing people like no tomorrow. Moving on. Black people want the truth to be told, so says the letter writer to the editor, Blacks Oppressed Under Our Flag. Before everybody waves Old Glory, says, I'm paraphrasing,
Okay.
because I'm not going to read the whole letter. Before everybody praises the great flag of America, remember that under this flag, the philosophy was written down on paper or parchment, but you had to be a white male to vote, and that blacks could be slaves. So that while this great flag of America flew during the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812, it was flying and waving high over slavery and racial discrimination. That's true, but that's the way the people wanted it back then.
Back then, that's the way it was.
That's the way it was. I mean, you can't deny, that's the way it was. Look at our schools. When I was in 7th grade, I realized I was being taught that blacks didn't do anything in this country but cause trouble and have babies. It's the way it was. I guess. That's what they taught us. However, in a 250-page American history book, only 3 pages of black history is in it. Is that fair? I don't think so. The whole story of the U.S. flag should be told. Gee, maybe he's right.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he is right. You mean that blacks didn't just have babies and cause trouble? You mean they actually did nice things?
Contributed.
Then why do the textbooks in our schools not say the nice things that these fine people did? Why is there still only 3 pages of black history in our American history book? Isn't it time to update America? Why are we living in the past, he said. Gee, Howard, what a refreshing liberal thing you're saying. Put it right there. Okay. Let's talk about the medical case that nobody talks about in Ohio. That's because it happened in Ohio. The Love Doctor. We have to be very cautious on how to phrase this. The Love Doctor was found guilty, even though there are people who don't know why.
He was found guilty, but somebody got some money, even though she probably knew what was going on.
Now, this was not a criminal case. This was the civil case, right? She sued him.
For money.
For money. What did he do? You're the lady in this discussion. Would you like to tell the ladies in good language what he was doing to her? Or do you want me to do it?
No, I would rather pass on this. This is your subject.
This is my expertise. Lady,
your story.
he was surgically sensitizing the lady's private area.
Very nicely put, Howard.
Thank you kindly. For the purpose of vanity, right?
Okay.
He was surgically sensitizing the lady's private area for the purpose of vanity, to enjoy the romantic experience to a greater climactic moment. Bravo.
Bravo, Howard Chizek.
Bravo. You should hear what they're saying, calling it down at the bar. But Howard just came to the greatest definition of all time. Does everybody understand? He was clipping her interests. Okay? That's why his doctor's office was a clip joint. See?
Okay, he was doing this, though, without the consent of a lot of these female patients.
By the way, they refer to this in India as female circumcision, which is by law performed on all 13-year-old girls. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I, but I read it recently in a book on how to make it with a 13-year-old bride in India, not Brimfield. Moving on. Anyhow, so supposedly he was doing this without her permission.
Right.
He was performing love surgery. Now, this is the subject that nobody in Ohio wants to talk about. Anyhow, the jury made the following observations. They decided the hospital, who allowed him to remain on staff, there's a difference between a staph and a staph infection.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Wait a second.
See, we can't make him laugh, folks, else he loses it.
I'm better now. I'll be well in a couple of months. The doctor who was allowed to remain on staff, the hospital was found not to be guilty of anything. Okay.
Of employing a jerk, basically.
Basically employing a jerk. Thank you, Janet. That was very well said. So they felt the hospital was not guilty of employing a jerk. They also said the woman knew what she was doing.
Now, see, this is confusing.
They believe that she knew she was getting the love surgery. The evidence clearly showed that, said the jury.
Well, then why would the jury award her money from this?
That's a good question. She wanted $30 million from the man. They gave her $5.
Which is still a nice chunk of change.
She has suffered vaginal and bladder infections and suffers from pain during romantic exercises. Pretty good, huh?
You are just a genius this morning.
Well, they were messing around. And they, however, believed he should not have been practicing, and the hospital should not have let him stay on their staff but the hospital's not guilty, and she knew. Well, if the hospital's not guilty and she knew what he was doing, then why should she get any money at all?
See, that's what I don't understand. Obviously, they're trying to compensate somebody. They know something was wrong.
He said he discussed it with her 3 times before the operation. She also waited 20 months before she decided to sue. She waited 20 months.
Well, that could be for a number of reasons, though. Maybe she didn't know it was done. Maybe she wasn't having any problems until
the jury
that
said,
time.
"We felt bad about the decision. I feel that I can speak for the rest of the jury because we felt bad about what we had to come up with." I think the jury really feels he was innocent.
How could he be innocent?
Well, because she knew she wanted this. He had spoken to her with her 3 times.
Well, what does the jury feel bad about? Only giving her $5 million and not the whole amount?
Ms. Phillips had requested the surgery from him. They had discussed it 3 occasions. How could she obviously...
Maybe she's suing over the fact that she had suffered problems after the surgery.
It's a good thing she's not a 13-year-old girl in India. Why would any woman in America want something done anyway like that? Let's talk surgery that isn't really necessary. What do you think?
Goes on a lot.
See this little line here? See, this is called an age line. See, a character line. Sorry, I made a mistake. This is not an age line. This is a character line. I've been thinking about having my face pulled, see?
Let's see. So what would it do?
It would make the line go away, see? See how all of a sudden I look a little oriental? I've been thinking about getting some cosmetic surgery.
Are you serious?
Well, no, but I've been thinking about it. There was an honest response. But look, now see this line here. Now you pull your...
Whoops.
Don't hit the microphone.
I did.
No, it doesn't do anything for you because you're beautiful.
Oh, please.
See, but for me, if I would have this and then tucked under behind my ear, but I don't have any hair to cover under there.
You
see,
look like
I
Jumbo.
Jumbo behind my ear. Jumbo the elephant with the big ears.
Big ears.
Thank you very kindly.
The first thing I thought of.
That's funny. When you were in trouble, I went to the Kaiser's office to get you out of trouble. Then she calls my ears Jumbo. Okay. All right. Well, just kidding here. Well, anyway, that now gets us to our discussion of why do some men or women have surgery done to them like clipping, no, that's not the word I used before, surgically altering their sensitivity regions of their private areas. Why would anybody want to do that? What about a male? Gee, I hope I'm not getting embarrassing. Why would a man who at birth was not, shall we say, tapered, how do you like that?
Whoa.
As an adult decide to go and have himself tapered? There's a mature way of saying circumcision, isn't it? I think that's good.
Best way I heard.
How about a nice lady who would like to have the bags,
pus removed,
the pus?
yes.
Also, my eyebrows go down. I discussed this with you, haven't I?
Yes, you went.
Yes, I'm the only person in America whose eyebrows instead eyelids. What do you call eyelashes? That's what they are.
Oh, okay.
Eyelashes. Instead of going up, they go down. I was thinking about having this tucked here and put this over here behind my eyebrows. See? So what do you think, Janet?
Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it, Hal.
What about a tummy tuck? Not necessarily for us, but maybe Stan.
Oh.
I mean, he'll never get into his long trousers for the Silver Lake Country Club. How about Stan, a tummy tuck, huh?
Some people get that.
Yes.
Lots of people get that.
Lots of... What about a liposuction? I was gonna
Get rid of those thighs.
Yeah, what about the ladies whose legs look like meat cleavers? What do you think about that? Or they look like drumsticks. Should they go for that? What about surgery? I don't think we'll get any calls on this.
But it was fun to talk about.
That's right. But I'm going to do my darndest to get one. Let's use the expression, have you ever considered surgery that has nothing to do with a medical necessity? How about that?
Dun, dun, dun.
Hi-ho!
Subject.
Okay, moving on. According to our experts, and this was on, I think, with David Brinkley yesterday, Roe versus Wade will be history within 2 years. Ooh.
Oh, boy, that's frightening.
Now, does that mean then the states will be allowed to set their own law? Yes, I do believe it does. It doesn't mean that abortion is outlawed everywhere.
No,
It
give
will
the
allow-
state more power.
It will allow the state to outlaw abortion. So the federal government may be getting out of the abortion business. Roe versus Wade, according to the This Week with David Brinkley, will be struck down. Is boxing good for children?
Keeps them off the street.
Well, for these nice children working with these nice people from Akron, we supported this gentleman's brother, didn't
Yes, we did.
We sent a nice donation. This is the West Side Athletic Club. I think if a child has nowhere to go but the streets, then I think boxing is fine. If a child has other alternatives, I'm not so sure about that. Another ride has fallen out of the sky. Where is this? In Ohio?
Yeah, of
Middletown.
course.
Of course. I get nervous when the carnies come to town.
Yeah, I don't
And
like those
And I don't mean the
rides.
politicians from Youngstown. I'm talking about, hey, baby, step up there. Good looking, 3 balls for a quarter, you know? Or is it 3 balls for $2 now?
I think it's more like $2.50.
Yes, I was at the Great Geauga County Fair last year. Hey, step up here, fella. Good looking guy thinking about having face surgery. 3 balls for $2. $2.
Did you win?
No, don't be silly. For
Kept
two.
bouncing out.
After
right?
about 3 times, he made me win something, so I get something for my $6. Do you think America's amusement rides are safe? Now we'll put that over there. What else we got here? We talked about that. Oh, this is disgusting. But
But you're going to say it anyway?
I'm going to tell the people the truth. They finally think they know how the dentist in Florida gave Kimberly the AIDS. Now, see, I don't understand this, but I'll point it out. When you have a tooth pulled, have you ever had a tooth pulled?
Yes, sir. My wisdom teeth were yanked out a couple years back.
Was that a problem? Did it take long? It took seconds. The preparation took a while. What about the actual pulling of
No,
the tooth?
It took a while. I had some problems.
Oh, you had complications.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you're on the inside, well, most of us are. If you're having a tooth pulled, that means if you're on the inside, see, I'm not an observer looking out. If you're on the inside of your body, it sounds like a tree chopping down.
Oh, yes.
Because it sounds like somewhere in the back of your head, somebody has taken about a 1-inch square piece of kindling and it's going crackly. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Yes. However, if done properly, it only takes seconds.
Oh, sure.
The preparation takes a while. So I don't understand where now, I understand where your blood's involved in, of course, having a tooth pulled. He actually takes a piece of metal. Look how many people are cringing out there. And he's taking it up against and forcing it in another direction. I've cleaned that up. And it sounds like a tree falling. Boom. Just like that. And takes this thing and just pulls it right out. There you are. Then the worst starts after that. I don't understand how a dentist would cut himself during unless, of course, it was an abscess tooth and they had to go get it. Right?
It could have been impacted. It could have been anything.
Maybe that's the word I'm looking for, not abscess, but impacted. Anyhow, they are now saying, folks, put down your coffee. Do you want to hear this?
I don't know, because I have no idea what you're going to say.
It's
So
not
yes,
so,
I'm
it's
curious.
It's not so terrible. Other dentists are now saying that he, while removing her teeth, Kimberly, she must have had something which involved cutting. It wasn't just a standard pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
That he cut himself and bled in her mouth. That's the only way it could have happened. Sounds like a real klutz, don't you think?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, no offense.
if it did, that's the possible could have happened.
Only possible way for him to have given her AIDS, the story from last week, was while, and we assume it was an impacted wisdom tooth of some kind, that he had to use his, scalpel.
Mm-hmm.
The only way is that he cut himself and then bled into her mouth, which means not only was he a person with AIDS, he was a klutz of a dentist. I have not heard from the dentist lately. However, I am going to the dentist today.
Yes, you are.
Yes, everybody's waiting for me to go to the dentist. At 5 o'clock today, American Dental Clinic has set up this huge studio.
We're going to have a little parade for you.
That's right. All right, so we have killed the first half hour of the show, and we ask one more question dealing with Wednesday's NBA draft. It doesn't seem like anybody really wants Hot Rod Williams, if you believe the paper in Terry Pluto's column. And also, they're talking about Steve Smith from Michigan State. Well, that'd be the greatest thing that ever happened to us. So we throw open the lines now. We have cosmetic surgery or sexual surgery, right? We have that subject. Boxing, rides falling out, record rate of murders. Gee, that dentist not only was a bad person, it sounds like it was a klutzy dentist. What else we got? Oh, ABC was wrong on their Nightline shows about Pan Am 103. And John Sununu, he just can't seem to catch a bus.
We got a